Chapter 11. Stuck Between Comfortable and Crazy. I've often cringed at the saying, we all have free choice, so we should be grateful for all the good and all the bad in our life. I think the saying is true, but without context, it can be very dangerous. You see, free will is a choice. It's a choice to wake up, be thankful, and appreciate every opportunity you've been given. We are also responsible for our choices, and it holds true that under certain circumstances we face consequences. However, free will is also offered to everyone else around us, and their poor choices can play a huge role in our lives, even if we didn't ask for it. Someone else chooses to do harm or live a life of poor decisions, it could very well affect you and someone else close to you. Here's the difference. You should live life making good choices and learning from the ones that didn't go so well. You should forgive, and you should have an open heart for those that have hurt you. But even if you are putting all of your energy into being good, you have to have a strong mind. You must have a strong support group, and you must be at peace with whatever life throws at you. As it's stated in Matthew 6:34, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. This is where owning your truth is one of the most important self-development tasks you'll ever do for yourself. You'll learn more about owning your truth in a later chapter. It's a deep look inside of those struggles, but you know you are still the king of this jungle. I want to reference the COVID timeframe and just how destructive it was. The mask, the shields, the public disgracing and shaming. What an embarrassment to our society where respect for people could be tossed away as if no one had a voice anymore. They set constraints on everything and we were not free. Singled out and mentally forced to go to another place. All the values you were raised to have meant nothing because the most deadly disease in the world meant you now controlled life and death with your breath. You see, we are never given authority over man, so the idea that we could kill grandma and grandpa is the most insane mind manipulation I've ever experienced. I'm not here to doubt the validity of the virus or the risk, but I also know just like your life and leadership pursuit, there can be no fear of failure. You can be responsible, but your mind should never be in bondage to a situation that can't be supported with facts or something that goes against your conscience. The point is, just like the COVID protocol, your leadership ability can't be reckless and dangerous to those around you. You can't claim to save lives or save the day, yet put everyone in a spot for damage control. People want to trust, but there also must be a reason to trust. There must be truth in trust, and no matter your title or position, it must continue to always be earned. The day you gain authority but forget to respect the individual is the day you find yourself fighting harder and harder to lead them. What about a plan so fragile that you can only whisper it? What will it become? What purpose does today bring if you don't pursue its meaning? Fail to chase it and you will end up losing it. You must fix what's broken and learn from your harsh conditions. Are you always stuck in survival mode? Fight or flight mentality that distracts you from being grounded. You can take on more when pursuing something that has value to you. Anything. Your mind doesn't drift when you're focused or motivated. If you get off track, you can bury yourself with non-value added tasks and chores. If you're not chasing your plan, you will only bury it deeper. You're already digging trying to find it, you'll only bury it more. There are moments when you just feel it and you know nothing will get in the way. I've had my fair share over the years. I'll also admit I've had plenty of times where I went numb and didn't even realize I was going through some overbearing situations. We've all asked ourselves, what am I doing? Did I make the right move? Is this move selfish, or am I pursuing what I love? It's a tough place to be because you have all the confidence in the world, but your circumstance is constantly fighting back. You can quickly start to doubt. When we care about creating our future, though, our reality check comes sooner than years past. You're able to pull yourself back, gain perspective, and embrace the moment rather than dwell in it. Perspective doesn't necessarily change the outcome. It shifts your mind to make the next move. Hopefully less time and less costly than the ones before. Creativity is the creation of the mind's deepest thoughts. Overwhelming feelings will come over you when you surrender to your situation. Every situation is a glimpse of time until you gain control of it. Vision and passion are important, but do you have the energy to wake up and turn the body and mind up to full throttle every day? Let's face it, people are funny though, so bold and confident about their convictions, yet blind to their foolishness, pettiness, and single narrow minds. Many live their entire lives convinced they are doing everything possible, so it must be someone or something else. Some live so obsessed they begin to control what they idolize. Then when the fire is gone, they don't know what to do with themselves. What we do outside of work can echo what we are trying to do as a leader at work. Don't get caught in the trap. My good deeds are enough, and my authority should be respected just because that's how it's supposed to be. That a fair shake will automatically equal a balanced life or team. Right, and the sun rises and falls in your rear end. You see, average can't be maintained. It's constantly moving, and the ability to see everyone else's faults but your own is the reason most leaders fail to effectively build and lead a team. People also know everything. Isn't it amazing how they can know everything, yet everything in their life is still screwed up? It doesn't matter though, because they've made up their mind and that they want to make right, so naturally they must know everything. Don't fall for this trap with yourself or the ones you're leading. There is for sure confidence and comfort, even if your situation is driving you crazy. Many will wait a lifetime hoping things will fall into place, yet they refuse to truly align their universe. Their time is spent surviving and questioning. This ramps up when stress or negative hits hard, and sometimes it's enough to drive them to move, but most times they don't. You're in the driver's seat, pedal to the floor, RPMs are peaked, but the car is still in park. Sometimes you even put it in neutral to convince yourself you tried, but again, it goes nowhere. It feels like you're doing something, but your circle of hope is surrounded by your circumstance. What is your purpose? This goes back 20 years ago when I set out to find mine. I would fill that void with jobs that satisfied my craving. I loved the thrill of being needed and saving the day, but also building a team around me. Leadership, management, and coaching, it didn't matter as long as I felt like I was in control and helping people with my knowledge and leadership. I set a goal that I would positively influence everyone around me. I would raise the standard everywhere I went. Sometimes I'd be tempted to jump behind the counter and help a fast food joint start slinging burgers, or if I saw someone struggling, I was ready to help. I once laid under an RV in an auto parts store parking lot and helped a gentleman work on it when it was 90 degrees out. Passed a lady and their family with 2 flat tires. An odd story, I was driving home from work out in the country and saw a wheelchair outside and a lady and her family staring at the van. They had ran over a board and got 2 flat tires. So I stopped and changed the tire with the spare, went to the tire store and got the second tire fixed, returned and changed that tire so they could get home. Another time, I passed the vehicle and a lady was crying in her car. She had run out of gas in the middle of nowhere. I went and bought a gas can and got her on her way with some money. The universe knows your heart and knows you can change this world. You just have to soul search. Find out who you are and allow it to work. You can't force this kind of serving. It must be genuine, but you must be ready. You can't find something you aren't seeking. I'll tell you these stories again to give hope back to humanity. We gain nothing by bragging or boasting about our great deeds, but your deed of kindness and love may be the first time they've ever felt it. We know how impactful experiences can be. How much will you mean to you and someone else? You have experiences, ups and downs, great moments and great memories. You have stability and support. So now what? Be honest with yourself and your situation. You may have to climb out of the hole first before you can leap. Most of the time we have a plan, but don't really know what we want. You can only want out of your situation you're in. You need to have a plan, and it better be pursued hard or you will end up right back in the same situation. Your bold plan can't be desensitized with technology. You can't experience life if you're experiencing it through a screen. Use technology to improve your life, but don't settle for using it as an escape from reality. Don't drift into someone else's lifestyle because you can't discover who you are inside. Just as the screen goes black when you turn it off, so will your progress. Don't be comfortable with a life that isn't yours. Your entire life will be a choice. You very seldom find yourself just living in the moment. The moment is always moving. How you respond is one of the most exhausting questions of your entire life. When life is good, or the moment is good, we're on a high. Endorphins are pumping and there's self-sustained energy. When it's flat or bad, you must create energy. These moments are like a revolving door and they never end. When you step out, look at life as constants, then look at what makes the difference. Notice you've changed, but then notice what has the ability to change you. So today, I choose to, that's right, you must start with daily positive reinforcement to face each day. You start strong by giving yourself the inspiration needed to handle whatever comes your way. You shouldn't be surprised at this point by the setbacks or the chaos. Make today unique because it was touched by your gift and give them a closing piece they don't want to miss. The big hitter is the piece that you need to fulfill your day. You need that joy and feeling of gratitude to be alive and to be in that moment. Being stuck between comfortable and crazy means you know you're blessed, but you're constantly fighting feelings of wanting more. Are you asking for more because it's your gift and passion, or because you are just never content and like a drug, you neuroshock your temporary emotions to feel good about yourself. Impulses to replace voids. It's okay to want more, but understand your priorities and stay true to who you are through a relationship with God and your family. How do you stay positive and focus with so much evil or negative circumstances surrounding you? There's always natural disasters or crime, and our eyes and minds are filled every day on social media with the world's problems. You must understand that your environment is a huge part of the process. This process can be a long for many because your parents' choices, series of bad events, or even your own choices. All of these things can bury you and the ones that you care for and love the most. You must have a relentless pursuit to climb out of it. Be comfortable knowing that you can make it through, but a little crazy to pursue your passion. Understanding how your mind works and its subconscious power through visualization and actually finishing your vision or plan is tough. Sometimes it conflicts with staying busy, your attitude, or state of grinding you're in to make money until your big break comes. Reaching your goal is tough. You get pulled 50 different ways, and even though you're gifted, you're not able to really focus and put energy into your true passion. Everyone wants you and a piece of your time, but seldom do they ask what you want. Think about it. How many people or good-willed causes tell you that they need to make time for their cause, but never ask you where they can help you with yours? Pretty abusive relationship if you ask me. So how long will you put up with it? Now, this doesn't mean that you stand on the street corner cussing every soul who asks for help, but it's standing firm with saying no or not at this time, but then you must put that time back into yourself. If you're making some tough decisions to make yourself better, then you better utilize that time or it will catch you and bury you. The mindset change needed to have success happens when we believe the process is simple. Why do we complicate it or spend more time talking about it rather than doing something about it? We are all conditioned to find every reason why it can't work or why it hasn't grown, yet here you are still with the ability to change the outcome. It's a matter of understanding your situation and putting into place action items that can be evaluated. Will you set an achievable goal and follow through? Will you be honest with where you are and what needs to be done and what needs changed? Will you put time into meaningful changes to see if you can alter the outcome of your current situation? There is something ironic, though, when you talk to people. They often say, I can't remember yesterday, let alone a week or a month ago, yet everyone knows how they felt during a traumatic situation in their life. Again, referencing the COVID time, I'm almost sure most would know where they were and the effect it had on them through sickness or stores or restaurants they visited. And just like that situation, the question comes down to, did it wake you up or did it just leave you in a state of confusion? Did you ever ask yourself, did that really happen? The ones who can have those events happen in their life and then face them with sheer determination to learn who they are from it are the ones that will reach a higher level of success. The others will just hold on as tight as they can for as long as they can, riding the same pointless merry-go-round. The hardest part about any journey, whether you're trying to advance at work, improve your relationships, your marriage, your life, is that life doesn't slow down or even hesitates that you can gain the edge. It's what separates people from staying in their lane and not really pushing themselves. Do not let your ability, skills, or efforts sink to that lower level, ever. Eventually, others' weakness will be exposed. Push through it and let your work ethic and ability prove its worth, and their lack of skill will show its true colors. You want to know why you're stuck between comfortable and crazy? It's because you won't make a decision and stick with it. It doesn't matter your age, and you can always turn things around. You've been doing this for quite a while. You feel good. You're saying your amens, but something's still missing. It's time to start doing what matters the most to your vision and stop making excuses or broken promises for the next year. At some point, you must stop drifting along like you're still waiting for some special moment to show up to show you the way. Take control of what is right in front of you. It requires relentless effort, so stop drifting week to week, pretending you don't feel the power of the universe drawing you towards something. You're staying silent in your life because it's easier to keep begging for mercy instead of creating your future. You were built to be amazing. You are amazing. When you realize that things are not coincidental and that life is energy, good or bad, and that it's always moving, you learn how to intentionally shift your perspective and your attitude. Ask yourself, are you really giving your best? Are you really putting on your game face and giving your best in this fight against this world? How often do you ask for help? How often do you get angry, frustrated, or overwhelmed? How often do you reach out to someone for mentorship and not for pity? Sometimes things in life just happen. The key is to not overanalyze every situation as if the world is trying to pin you down and force you to tap out. When everything is not on fire and it's not a fire drill, you start to see the difference in situations that matter the most. That's when you realize these moments are teaching you how to resist your weakness, see through the lies, and know more about your enemy. Too many times we focus on the chaos of our situation, which is always constant, yet we try to always change it. Instead, you should focus on getting small wins and look at the PDCA strategy. Plan. What means the most to you in your life? What priorities will hold you no matter what and will help position yourself with skills you have? Do. What actual steps will you take to learn more skills? Who will you begin associating with that can offer help? How will you acquire funds or training? What behaviors and disciplines will you put into place to keep growing? Check. How will you measure your success? How will you know what marks you have and what goals to hit? How do you determine if the situation needs to change or you need to change? How will you realign the details that still aim at the bigger goal? Action. Each part of the process is based off of continuous improvement. What 3 tasks did you define that will help drive output? Then follow through to complete those 3 tasks and then start the PDCA process over. Our lives should be filled with give and take, checks and balances, and trial and error, each respectively using each other to make progress towards becoming a better leader. If we ask, it will be given to us. If we seek, we will find it. If we knock, the door will be open. These only come true in our lives when we realize that what we are asking for has been wrong all along. Stop asking for $1 million and start looking at an opportunity that can get you $1 million. Stop asking to be rescued from the job you hate and start asking for someone or something to come in your life that can replace it. Stop asking for the door to be open, but peek around at first because you're not sure. You must have faith so strong that you blow that door off the hinges. Who cares what's on the other side? You're an amazing person and you're going to make it work no matter what. Being stuck between comfortable and crazy is a blessing. You understand both ends of the spectrum so you can position yourself as a strong leader. People want to follow this type of leadership. John 16:33. I have told you these things so that you may be at peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world.